Hi, my name is Ashish, and in this video we will see to develop an AI app with the Azure AI Foundry SDK. The Azure AI Foundry SDK is designed to bring together common services and code libraries in an AI project through a central programmatic access point, making it easier for developers to write the code needed to build effective AI apps on Azure. So what is Azure AI Foundry SDK? I'll quickly log on to the portal and take it from there. Alright, so you log on to ai.azure.com and it will take you to the Azure AI Foundry portal. Now, Azure AI Foundry provides a REST API that you can use to work with Azure AI Foundry projects and the resources they contain. Additionally, multiple language-specific SDKs are available, which enables developer to write code that uses resources in an Azure AI Foundry project in their preferred development language. Now, the core package for working with projects is the Azure AI Projects library, which enables you to connect to an Azure AI Foundry project. There are available language-specific packages for the Azure AI project, which are for Python, Microsoft.NET, and for JavaScript. To use the Azure AI Projects library in Python, you can use the pip package installation utility to install the Azure AI Projects package from pypi. So I just ran the command pip install azure-ai-projects. To install the utility. Now using the SDK to connect to a project. So once this installs, the first task is the most important task. For Azure AI Foundry SDK code is to connect to an Azure AI Foundry project. So this is my Azure AI Foundry portal. This is my default project. And these are the resources names. So if I click on here, get API endpoints and keys. Now each project will have a unique endpoint, which you can find on the project overview page like I'm doing. So if you come here, this is the Azure AI Foundry API key. It will be presented on overview page of your project. Here. Now the project will provide multiple endpoints and keys. An endpoint for the project itself, which can be used to access project connections, agents, and models in the Azure AI Foundry resource. It would also provide an endpoint for Azure OpenAI Service APIs in the project's Azure AI Foundry resource. It would also give you endpoints and keys for Azure AI services, such as Azure AI Vision, Azure AI Language. You can use the project endpoint in your code to create an API project client object, which would provide a programmatic proxy for the project using the preferred language if you're using Python, Microsoft.NET, or JavaScript. Let me see where my installation is. I should have that in my successfully installed Azure AI agents, Azure AI projects, Azure core, storage, everything. Okay. Now, you should also know about the project connections as well. Now, each Azure AI Foundry project includes connected resources. Which are defined both at the parent, which is Azure AI Foundry resource or hub level, and at the project level as well. Each resource is a connection to an external service such as Azure Storage, Azure AI Search, Azure OpenAI, or another Azure AI Foundry resource. Now, if you would go to under the Management Center here, and you click on Connected Resources, I don't have a connected resource here. I can create a connection. Now with the Azure AI Foundry SDK, you can connect to a project and retrieve connections, which you can then use to consume the connected service. Right. So for example, if you used Python, so the AI project client object in the Python would have a connections property, which you can use to access the resource connections in the project. And you can use the available connection methods as per the language, programming language you are selecting. And then to actually deploy an app, you can create a chat client or a Gen AI chat client, because that would be a common scenario in an AI application, which is to connect to a generative AI model and use prompts to engage in a chat-based dialogue with it. Right. So while you can use the Azure OpenAI SDK to connect directly to a model using key-based or Microsoft Entra ID authentication, when your model is deployed in an Azure AI Foundry project, you can also use the Azure AI Foundry SDK to retrieve a project client, from which you can then get an authenticated OpenAI chat client for any models deployed in the project's Azure AI Foundry resource. You can get the Python code on Microsoft documentation, which would use the get OpenAI client method to get an OpenAI client with which to chat with a model that has been deployed in the project's AI Foundry resource. Right. So these are the things that are required to build to create a Gen AI chat app. So in the next video, I would work on creating a Gen AI chat app, and we'll see how we make progress in that. I believe it was informative for all of you. If you have any further queries, please mention them in the comment section, and I will see you guys in the next video. Thank you. Have a good day.